Aviation sector. Now, in an effort to lower operating prices in Nigeria's aviation industry, the federal government of Nigeria signed the Cape Town Convention practice decision. Now, at the stakeholders meeting, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, convened by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa, Chief Judge of the Federal High Court Justice John Teremba Tosho signed that CTC practice direction. We had a conversation with Yemi Dada, who is an aviation consultant. He talked to us about what that means as far as, the aviation sector in Nigeria.
We had the CEO of Air Peace over the weekend on our flagship morning show, and I want you to take a listen to what he said. He said this is something that was nothing short of revolutionary. So here he is.
First of all, I want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What he has done is nothing short of revolution. This is revolution, nothing short of revolution. That's never happened before to us. Midwifing the signing of this practice direction, it has kind of helped the airlines, the local airlines, now to up their capacity.
So what do you make of that? I mean, is this actually revolutionary?
It's new, so if new is equivalent to revolutionary, then it is revolutionary. Like I said in my previous interaction in the media, this practice direction is meant for the judiciary to give a way, like a user manual to the judiciary, so that everybody can understand what to expect if they present a dispute before our law court in matters of aircraft, movable assets in the region. So it's revolutionary in that respect, but it's not like we are not keyed into the primary policy of the Cape Town Convention.
Okay, so now another issue is, why do we struggle in some cases with lease agreements here in Nigeria? Is it because the profit margins are so thin, the costs are so high, that leads, certain, aircraft companies or airlines rather to renege on these agreements? What's the issue?
It's a situation where a singular action of one of the players in the industry has snowballed into something that has now become a subject of a myth that is now spread around the industry, that this is how we behave in Nigeria. A few previous operators had resorted to self-help in terms of their disputes with lessors, and it had now become a challenge for them to repossess their airplanes. And this has now become a subject that some of the international lessors have keyed into, hearing, especially from the experience of previous major operators like Virgin Atlantic, who came into Nigeria, and their report was that it was a difficult territory to operate in, even though they had their own challenges and their contribution to that narrative. But that is what it is. It's unfortunate that that is the takeaway that many of them have, but many of them have not even tested the waters to know if this is true or not.
Okay, so now that this agreement now has been approved, does that mean going forward that the costs associated with leasing agreements will now fall?
The answer is no. What we signed is a practice direction, which is for our judiciary to understand how to handle disputes when they are referred to the court in Nigeria. The signaling on the long run should begin to yield fruit to lead to lesser onerous terms for leasing aircraft in Nigeria. But it doesn't immediately translate into a reduction in cost.
Okay, so finally, can you speak to the cost pressures, the main cost pressures facing players in the aviation sector in Nigeria, and how we can possibly reduce those cost pressures?
Well, the main cost pressures in the industry are the cost of foreign exchange and the cost of infrastructure, the cost of training and personnel inputs. Those are the main cost pressures. The cost of foreign exchange goes away in a large extent if you are able to train personnel, localize your maintenance as much as possible, and that would probably take off about 50% of your cost of foreign exchange. And when you're able to do that, you translate some of the costs to Naira, just as NNPC and Dangote are doing with the cost of PMS. You also translate the cost in terms of wages, because what we pay in Nigeria is less than what they will be earning in Europe or in America per hour for maintenance, especially. But there are still aspects that you still need to probably export, but the reduction translates into some. But it doesn't necessarily translate, this agreement does not necessarily translate into an ultimate immediate reduction in cost.